Hello! In this video I'll be reviewing Half-Life 2's first DLC, Half-Life 2 Episode 1. I am going to give my honest opinion on everything that it has to offer, giving it a score out of 10 at the end of this video. So, let's begin. Half-Life 2 Episode 1 is split into 3 evenly sized areas, which unfortunately get progressively worse. My review will be split into 3 sections, each one covering a level of the DLC in chronological order. So, let's begin with part 1. This area is by far my favorite from the DLC. Just this part alone makes the DLC worth playing and is one of my favorite levels in the entire game. The area begins with a satisfying cutscene that shows the outcome of the main game's ending cliffhanger. It informs you of the power of the Vortiguns just from the visuals. I personally always found the story to be well done in these games, so I won't dive deeper into it in this video. Your goal is to get to the Citadel, but there's just one problem. There's a giant hole in the ground between you and the Citadel. The solution to your problem is quite awesome. You and Alex get into a destroyed car and Doug just throws the both of you on the other side. The floor under you breaks and you somehow survive an exaggerated fall. It's still a cool moment though. Now you've truly entered the new level. This part of the DLC is more on the chill side when it comes to combat, but has you solve quite a few puzzles which all involve energy balls. I really like these puzzles. They are not difficult to figure out and you have enough breaks between them so that they don't feel repetitive. They are honestly the biggest appeal to this level. The level has a couple of issues though. Actually, they're all tied to one major issue which plagues the entire DLC unfortunately. I'm talking about the lack of new stuff. You're back into the Citadel, so there's no real visual variety with the exception of some orange fog. And you get no new weapon or a new game-changing mechanic. The lack of visual variety isn't a big problem here, though, because the Citadel is the logical place to continue the main game's ending from. It's the later levels that I take issue with. There's also no new enemy. You could argue that the Stalker is a new enemy type, but I disagree. You only meet them twice in the level and from afar. They're more of an obstacle than an actual enemy. Still, the content that we do get in this area, while not original, is still great. The second level begins with you and Alex surviving another huge fall that gets you to the depths of City 17. This level does actually try new stuff with a new enemy type and a sequence that I'll talk about later. The new enemy is the Combine Zombie. I really like this new opponent. He's a zombie with more health that charges at you most of the time with a grenade that's about to explode in his hand. Whenever I see a group of zombies with one of these in it, I make sure to take him out first. It spices up how you tackle situations against a big group of enemies. The cool part in the level that I mentioned earlier was obviously the dark parking place sequence. It's right at the end of this level and it also is the most intense part of the entire DLC. The atmosphere is spot on and reminds me of my favorite level in the series, Ravenholm. Flashing zombies for Alex to shoot them is a cool mechanic, which helps you not waste ammo and makes Alex a useful companion. The flashlight runs out too quickly in this section though, which makes finding the switch for the elevator a bit annoying. Maybe I missed something and sound like a fool. The rest of the level isn't anything new or exciting, sadly. Just decent, which is a shame for the standards of the series. This is unfortunately my least favorite part of the entire series. Haven't played the DLCs for the first game though. The first half of this level is quite solid actually. Starts kind of generic with some basic shooting in City 17 and ends on a high note in the hospital. It's fun to see Combine soldiers fight zombies, and the look of the hospital brings some visual variety. The second half of the level is where my problem stands. Escorting these civilians isn't fun. It never was, in any video game I've ever played. It also isn't challenging or feel like a desperate escape because less Combine attack you here than in the second level of the game. This part isn't fun on your first playthrough, and it's just kind of a chore on repeat runs of the game. After you escort the final group of citizens, the final bad guy that you fight is just another Strider. I shed fat man tears when I saw this. This Strider fight is more challenging than most fights against these funny little characters from the main game, but not by much. I didn't find the Striders ever fun to fight to begin with, so you can feel my disappointment when I saw that the final boss of the DLC is one of these. After you kill the Strider, you hop on a train, the Citadel explodes, and the DLC ends. Solid cutscene to end this bittersweet experience. While I did sound very negative in this review, I actually had a really fun time for most of the DLC's duration. It feels like a small chapter in a larger story actually, and still contains the smart level design that made the original game so great. It's overall a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and want to see a review on the second DLC, please like and subscribe. See you next time.